And hello everybody, and welcome to a very personal journey from my local station, Flint, driving on to Chester. So, without further ado, let's get started. My regular viewers will know I usually produce Train Sim World videos, but today we're in Train Simulator Classic. And the reason is simple: Train Sim World hasn't yet produced a North Wales route from Crewe to Holyhead, at least not at the time of this recording. Fingers crossed that changes in the near future. Now, of course, the graphics here are not on the same level as Train Sim World. We can see that straight away, but nevertheless, despite those limitations, this is still a very good representation of the North Wales line. And when you think that the whole route covers around 100 miles, that's actually pretty staggering. So I'm stood here in the game where I've stood many times in real life, waiting for my train. Often that was to Chester for a day out, a booze up I suppose, or to move on to Cardiff, London, Liverpool, or even Manchester for both pleasure and business. I can still remember looking down this long straight stretch of track waiting for the train to appear. Usually though, you'd hear it before you'd see it, that shimmering sound of the rails building up until finally the train came into view. And on a freezing cold morning when the train was running late, believe me, that sound was a relief. So let's take a look at a bit of history around Flint Station. It first opened way back in 1848 on the old Chester and Holyhead Railway, making it one of the originals on this line. For a small town, Flint's always been pretty important, with direct services heading to London, Cardiff and Liverpool, a proper connection point for communities like my own hometown of Holywell, just a couple of miles away. If you've ever visited in person, you can't miss the huge metallic foot sculpture by the station. That's by the artist Bryn, and it's called Footplate. It was installed to celebrate the history of the station and the role rail travel has played in North Wales. The design symbolises walking and setting out on a journey, which feels so fitting for a place where so many journeys have started. Now, just to give a bit of context for those who follow the simulators, Train Simulator Classic first came out in 2009, and it's been built up over the years with a massive library of routes and locomotives. It's more of the veteran sim with incredible variety. Train Sim World, which started in 2017, is the newer, more immersive one, with detailed cabs and modern visuals, so both have their strengths and weaknesses. This North Wales coastline route add-on, Crewe to Holyhead, which we're on today, was only released in January 2022, so even though this sim's older, this route is still one of the fresher pieces of content. I've got to say, it's quite surreal seeing my local area created in a video game, and done so well. It's made me genuinely excited, and a bit nostalgic too. But anyway, let's get ready to climb aboard here at Flint and set off for Chester. Okay, right, so let's make sure everything's ready to go. We're in forward. Yes, so we just need to put my minimal HUD on. And we're in complete release, so we can just start applying some power. Right, off we go. So we've got a 75 mile per hour speed limit here, so we can take the throttle right up as we leave Flint Station. Please bear with me. I am very new to Train Sim World Classic. Train Simulator Classic rather. So the controls are quite different, and the HUD's quite different too, so I'm still getting used to learning how to drive in this particular simulator. Right, so we'll just have a look from our second camera, exterior camera rather. We'll just zoom out a little bit so we can get a nice overhead shot, because there's not really much to see from the cab along this particular route really. As you can see, it's lined with trees either side. So we're just approaching the sewerage works. Thought I'd point that out for you. And over to the left there you can see the River Dee, and beyond that you can see the Wirral Peninsula, where you'll find West Kirby, Greasby and Heswell, and on the other side of that peninsula there will be Birkenhead, where you can then trot over to Merseyside. So this is all marshland here on the left hand side. So we've just left Flint. There's a small little industrial complex there on our right, and also here on our right is, just after these caravans, this next little holding here on the right is Bryn Thomas's crane hire. As you can see, there's no cranes there at the moment though. If you want to hire a crane, that's where you need to go. And just on the horizon there you can just see Quay power station. We're just about to go into a tunnel though. We need to keep an eye on our speed here, so we'll just take the throttle off because we're approaching a 75 mile an hour speed limit soon. We'll just take another look here at the power plant on the left. It's the last of the largest of industries that used to hug the North Wales coastline. And as the train just goes underneath this road, you'll see in the distance there the Flintshire Bridge, which just goes over the River Dee. Yes. So basically it's known locally as the Bridge to Nowhere because it was meant to link up with a new road that was joining up onto the A55, but that never happened, so it's a bit of a white elephant really. So let's just get back in the cab. We're doing alright for speed at the moment. Just get my arrow out the way. We've also got, just here on our left is Quay Dock. Now Quay Dock used to be used for exporting goods and coal. Right, we need to get some brake on here because we're getting quite close to the station now at Shotton, where we're going to make a short stop. So this is requiring some concentration from me with being new here. So let's just release the brakes. In fact, we probably need to give it a little bit of throttle really. Broke a little bit too soon. I should be just relying on rolling along at this stage really. Better to be safe than sorry though, eh? This is quite a short station and it's known as Lower Shotton Station. I'll explain why it's called Lower Shotton Station in a moment. So you just see the platform. Ooh, keep pressing the throttle instead of the brake because they're on the opposite sides from train sim world. Yeah, so this is just a local serving station really. You won't get any express trains stopping here. It's kind of an interchange. stop right at the end because this is where the passengers get on. Right, so let's open the doors, and if we take a look outside, actually, a disappearing man. These doors should close for us at any moment. But before we depart, we're just going to take a little bit of a look around here. We'll just go up these steps. And I don't think that barrier is supposed to be there. I think that's been drawn in when it shouldn't have been. So, oops, we're just taking a look over the bridge here at the station, Shotton Lower Station. Lower Shotton Station. But if we take this walkway, it takes us along and over to Higher Shotton Station, which I'm not really familiar with, really. It's just an information board. Is there a... doesn't actually... There's no sign that says the name of the... Oh well. So, yeah. So here we have Higher Shotton Station, and if you were to proceed along this line up that way, then you would end up in Wrexham. But then if we turn around and face this way, which is facing towards the north, this would take you to Bidston in Birkenhead on the peninsula there. So so this is where you would make your change. However, I'm just going to just fly back over this way. Because I just wanted to show you something else. I mean, there's not really much to see down here, because as you move further and further out in any simulator, really, which is sort of like out of bounds, the detail becomes less and less. So we have the River Dee here, and if you can just see in the distance there in the centre on the horizon, you can just make out the Flintshire Bridge, the bridge to nowhere. So I mean, it actually leads from Flint, bypassing where we are now in Shotton and Queen's Ferry and Deeside. So this River Dee is coming down from Chester. So here we have Hawarden Bridge, and what you would have here is Hawarden Bridge Station, which used to serve the steelworks that was here, John Summers Steelworks, which is now gone. But apparently the station is still operational, but it's a request stop. And it was obviously meant to be closed down because it doesn't really get much use now, but local people campaign to keep it open. But to me, it kind of maddens me because, you know, we've got this station over here, Higher Shotton Station, and we got Hawarden Bridge Station just over there, just a few metres away, and yet my local station, which is Flint, which we've just departed from, really shouldn't be my local station. My local station should be Holywell Junction Station, which we'll take a visit to at some time. And yeah, it's been closed all of my life. Many people have campaigned and still are campaigning to have the station opened, because Greenfield and Holywell, which that junction serves, Holywell Junction serves, is quite a large catchment area now and is much needed for commuters. So it'd be a much welcome mode of transport. If it'll happen in my lifetime, I do not know. But yeah, kind of maddens me. Right, so let's get back in the cab and stop moaning. Let's get some throttle on, release our brakes, and off we go. So we've still got a 75 mile an hour speed limit. And there we are, just leaving Shotton. So we're picking up speed now. Feels quite slow, really, doesn't it? But we're doing 30 miles an hour. Not that that's mega fast anyway, but it does take some time to pick up speed in these. Well, any of the trains really. The electric trains are much quicker at picking up acceleration, and I do believe North Wales is going to be electrified or in the processes of going down that path. So here on the right hand side here, I think you can see some tennis courts. That is Deeside Leisure Centre, which was turned into a COVID hospital during the COVID crisis. And here on the left you can see some of the Deeside Industrial Estate. And we're just about to leave Deeside now, going into Sandycroft. I'm just going over the A55. And we got another lovely sewerage works here on the left. Right, so let's just jump back in the cab for a little bit. Keep an eye on our speed limit. We are approaching our maximum speed limit, and we do need to be a little bit more careful as we're coming into Chester. Need to be aware of my signals. So yeah, what I intend to do eventually is to drive the entirety of this route, which covers from Crewe to Holyhead, and also includes Llandudno. Right, what we're going to do, we're going to release our brakes, not release our brakes, release our throttle, take the throttle off. We've got a green there. We'll just have a look if we passed Broughton yet. So over to the right here we have Broughton and Airbus, where the A380 wings are made. I think we might just have a quick glimpse of the runway in a moment. Not that it's been drawn in exceptionally well. As I say, the further out you look, particularly in Train Simulator Classic, the detailing becomes less detailed. But if you're looking for that more realistic, lifelike experience, then you need to look at Train Sim World. But just be aware that there's not as many routes, including this, involved in that yet. So that would be the runway there, that road in the middle. Right, so we're coming into Saltney now, and what we're going to do is we're going to jump back in the cab in a moment, because I need to focus on the upcoming signals. So yeah, so far I'm enjoying it. I mean, I've purely just got Train Sim Classic because it includes the North Wales line, and I'm just, even though the graphics are simple, I'm just in complete awe. It's amazing. And it does come. Oops, we need to acknowledge that AWS. That's our automatic warning system. And if I don't press the button to acknowledge that, then we'll come to a grinding halt. So we should drop some speed here, actually, because our next signal. Well, I'm not sure what our next signal is going to be. You can't guess what signals are going to be. But it is a green. Just about to see it. And we are going to be approaching... we should see the Chester Racecourse on our right very soon. In fact, we'll approach it a little bit slower. I need to be careful with the AWS on this next signal, because I've been caught out with it on a practice run. There we go. Now if I hadn't acknowledged that, our train would have come to a halt. Right, I think that will just give us a moment. So we're just coming into Chester now, and you will see just on the right hand side here, as we go over this kind of viaduct, that's Chester Racecourse there. And it's many a reason why people catch the train into Chester for the races. Also it holds other events, you know, like concerts and things like that. I remember when I was a little child, I went to see Shakin' Stevens arrived there in a helicopter. It was all very exciting stuff. Yeah, so we're just approaching Chester now, just keeping an eye on my speed limits, because we are coming up to 30 miles an hour. But we're just passing Telford's warehouse on the left here. You can just see it there on the left, which was one of my regular haunts. We used to go, and there's the canal. You can just see the canal on the right, which takes you down into Ellesmere Port. Right, let's get back in the cab, because what we don't want to be doing is speeding, because we're now approaching, and if you're familiar with this line, you'll know you're coming into Chester when you come in through this tunnel. So we've got a 30 mile an hour speed limit here. We're just coasting along. That was the word I was meaning to use earlier. 28 miles an hour. So shortly we'll be seeing the station. It's around about here the line branches off, so as you can see, well, you can't see really, but you can see this curve here on the left side. The track, you can see the depots for the trains, and those tracks over there that you can see curve off in the Merseyside direction, so if you're going to Liverpool. Right, so we need to get some brakes on. We're just approaching the platform now. So we've only got 2 carriages, so we don't need to stop at the very end. The idea is to get your train as close as possible to make it easy as possible for your audience, I was going to say then, for your passengers to disembark or embark. We've just got another 158 disappearing there on our right. So that telephone box there is kind of our key, so you can see the steps on the left. So we just need to get just past those steps where this chap is on the left. And there we have it, Chester Station. Let's let our passengers out, and if we get out too. So we'll just have a quick nosy around. As you can see, oh, I can hear another train coming in. Shall we just have a little nosy at what that is? Can't quite see from here. Oh, there we are. Not quite sure what class train that is. Wow. She sounds good, doesn't she? So what class of train is that? A 175. Beautiful, beautiful. And what else have we got in here at the station? Another 175. So that one there is heading off to North Wales. That one there, I think, will be going up into the Wrexham direction. But let's get back to our train anyway. As you can see, it's parked centrally for the ease of the passengers to disembark and embark upon the train. So we come up these steps. I wasn't expecting this detail, to be honest with you, even though it's a very simple simulator. I wasn't expecting this much detail on the on this particular train simulator, so I'm pretty impressed. If we just come down here a moment, you'd wait here to go to Liverpool. Yeah, I'm not quite sure what comes, whether that must also head to Crewe as well, but this would be the side on which you would head off to Liverpool, which I remember doing in a bit of a bad state one morning. I was doing some work experience on the TV programme Brookside, and I turned up a little bit, well, I wasn't drunk, but I was hungover, which wasn't very good. Yeah, so you would make your way along this dark, eerie passageway down these steps, and in real life, I mean, I haven't been to the station for a while myself now, you would have the turnstiles here, ticket, where you'd get onto the platform, so they're missing, and there's bits of other furniture missing, but this does give you a general picture and feel of Chester. It feels like I am at Chester, for me personally anyway. So and here's the main entrance and exit, and so you have your buses there. So on the right we have the town crier. Doesn't quite look like that, to be honest with you, where you'd go and have a few more drinks before getting your train home, or start off with a few drinks before making your way into town and enjoying the delights of Chester. And here on the left we have a bit more of a plush hotel called the Queen's Hotel, and I used to film weddings there. That used to be one of my forms of work, was in video production, so I filmed quite a few weddings there, quite posh weddings. Also filmed a couple of weddings down at the Chester Racecourse too. So the detail around here is not the best, but considering what it is, it's quite a good representation, really. It looks quite good. So there's Chester Station for you. And we'll just do one quick fly over here, so you can get an overhead shot. This will be Hoole Bridge here, and as you can see, as I was saying before, I think there used to be a Royal Mail depot around here somewhere. I do know that we've got there's some lovely little touches here in Train Sim Classic. You've got little, forklift trucks. My sister Jane is a forklift truck driver, so I mentioned there to her, embarrass her. So that's my sister working hard, as she would be, with no rest, just continuing to work as fast as possible in loading the trucks with their goods. So we've just come down this line on the left, and these lines on the right here take you over to Liverpool. So let's get back to our train before she departs for Crewe, which is off in this direction. So there you have it, guys. That's my first official video on Train Sim Classic. There will be more, but my full dedication will be to Train Sim World, and there's plenty of videos on my site if you'd like to have a look at them. Yeah, so thank you for coming along for my first journey on Train Sim Classic from Flint to Chester, my hometown. And don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.